Islanders, I can't believe I have to admit this, but I broke one of the golden rules of cruising. Amanda and I just booked another cruise for 2025 yesterday, but in doing so, we had to break one of the golden, most sacred rules of cruising, and we're going to share that with you on the show today. We all need some time on the islands. Let's go there now on Island Time. A big happy Monday to all you Islanders. We hope that you had a great weekend and your Monday is off to a great start. We're on Island Time. I'm your host, Derek. Let's drop our anchors and take some time to relax in the islands together today. I don't know about you, but I need some time to just break free, break away, and think about cruising for just a little bit. A couple of items to address before we get into the show today. Number one, thank you so much for joining our live show last night. We had an absolute blast sharing our review of our group cruise on board the Carnival Jubilee. We also previewed our group cruises coming up in 2025. We also hinted at this cruise that we're going to talk about today. Be sure to check it out if you did not join us last night. And number two, the Norwegian getaway vlogs continue to come out. I released another one just today on Monday regarding Norwegian's private island at Harvest Caye. So be sure you check that out if you want some more cruise content. Let's get into the show today. Breaking a golden rule of cruising that I never thought under any circumstance that I would break. I broke it over the weekend. Let's set this thing up like this right here. Number one, we've been snowed in for 4 days. 10 inches of snow in Arkansas, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm blaming this on the snow. Number two, we've been looking for one more cruise in 2025. We had 8 booked. We were looking for number 9, one that we could kick off the summer with. School ends in May. Yes, it's baseball season, but we wanted a cruise to kick off the summer. And while we had all these snow days, we were wishing we were looking at some powdery white sand instead of snow. And we booked this trip. We came across this trip, a 10-day cruise out of New York City on the Carnival Venezia. We brought over the Venezia with the transatlantic when she first came out. We really enjoyed the ship. We've been wanting to get back on her, and this just worked out. May the 25th is Memorial Day. I would not have to take off work. May the 25th is after school ends. May 25th and the 10 days line up where we don't have a baseball tournament during those 10 days. It all works out, except for we did have to break a golden rule of cruising, and that's because May 23rd and May 24th, we do have a baseball tournament. I'm the head coach of my oldest son's team. I need to be there. My son needs to be there. We need to be committed. But if you have kids or grandkids and you know about youth sports, especially baseball tournaments, you don't know when the tournament is going to end on Sunday. We would have loved to book a flight 7 p.m., 8 p.m., but you don't know when the tournament is going to end. And so because of that, and under these circumstances, Amanda and I have had to break one of the golden rules of cruising, which is never travel in, never drive 8 hours, never fly in on embarkation day. You always get there the day before. You always fly in the day before. That's what we do every time. That's what we share with people. I never ever thought that I would break this golden rule, but under this circumstance, there was no way to get to New York City from Little Rock, Arkansas on Sunday. It had to be on Monday. So for the first time ever, we're going to break this golden rule of cruising of never travel to your port of call on embarkation day. We've broken the rule. I feel bad. Slap the wrist. But we had to do it. We could not book a flight on Sunday. There's no chance. We just don't know when the tournament is going to end. Now, with that said, we've taken every precaution that we can. We have booked our flights for the Carnival Venezia through Carnival's program, Fly to Fun. You may or may not know about this program, but Carnival and other cruise lines as well have a program, a flight program, where they offer you flights sometimes at a discounted rate, but they also have this protection in there. And this protection, I'll read Carnival's here in just a second, but basically it guarantees you that the flights that you booked through the cruise line will get you to the cruise ship. They will wait on you. They will take care of cancellations and delays, and they will make sure you get to the ship. We paid for that. We booked through Carnival's Fly to Fun program. Here's what the Fly to Fun program is, quote unquote, Through Carnival's eyes, this is how they advertise here. Carnival also provides flight protection in the event of flight disruptions, providing reassurance that Carnival will make alternate arrangements as needed for guests to meet the ship at the port of embarkation in time to board the ship or to the first port of call without violating the Jones Act. If no viable options are available to join the ship, guests will be given a future cruise credit to apply towards a future Carnival cruise. Now, let's call out a couple of things here. Carnival's Flight-A-Fun program, they try to make sure that they get you to your ship before your ship leaves, or they will fly you to the first port of call at no charge. You don't pay anything extra. If your flight is canceled, if your flight is delayed, they will find another flight for you if they can. There is that caveat there at the end. If they've done everything they can do, then they will refund you your cruise, which happens, I can tell you this, because Amanda and I manage so many cruises. It happens almost never, knock on wood, right? Knock on wood, happens almost never. But we took that precaution as we could, because the only way we could make this 10-day cruise work was to fly from Little Rock, Arkansas to New York City on embarkation day. It's giving me anxiety already. The trip is 5 months away, but I already have anxiety about this. Here's how the trip will line up on May the 25th. We will leave Little Rock just after 7 a.m. We will fly to LaGuardia there in New York and land around 11:15 a.m. It's a non-stop flight, and that was the non-negotiable for me. I was not going to break this rule and have a layover somewhere. If I break the rule, I'm having one flight. That's it. I'm not going to have to wait on 2 aircraft, and the risks go up if you have to wait on 2 aircraft and 3 aircraft. Nope. It's a non-stop flight from Little Rock to New York. That's the only way that I was going to agree to breaking this golden rule, and that's what it is. So we will land around 11:15. We're not checking bags. We're not waiting on baggage for 10 days. We're going to pack in carry-ons. That way we can get off the plane, and it's about a 45-minute drive. An Uber ride from LaGuardia to the cruise port, the cruise terminal, 45 minutes there. That gets us there around 12, around 12, just after 12, let's say 12:30. The final boarding call is at 2 o'clock. So we have around 90 minutes to spare. And I'm already having the anxiety in January of this not taking place, this not coming to fruition. But again, this was the only way that we could make this trip happen, and I'm willing to take the risk and see what happens, booking through Carnival's Fly-To-Fun program. A couple of questions for you Islanders. Number one, have you ever used Carnival's Fly-To-Fun program? Did you know there was such a thing? They give you that extra protection, and the flights in this case was just a little bit more. Usually they're discounted, but in this case, they were a little bit more than what I could find for the same flights on public sites, but again, I needed the protection. And number two, if this was the only way that you could go on a cruise, your schedule was tight, and this is the only way that it could be done, would you go ahead and book the trip? Would you go ahead, pay that deposit, choose the flights, and then live in anxiety for the next 5 months? Would you do it, or would you say, you know what, I'm not taking the trip. I don't want to go to St. Thomas. I don't want to go to St. Martin, San Juan, Grand Turk that bad. It's an unbelievable itinerary, right? 10 days going to those places and 5 sea days, 3 up front, 2 on the back end. If this was the only way you could do it, would you do it? And let me formally apologize for breaking one of the golden rules in cruising. I hope I never ever have to do this again, but in this case, it was the only way that it could be done. Islanders, I can't wait to hear your thoughts, your comments in the comment section below. You might send a little well wish as well. I know I'm going to get some of those. I hope you make it. This one's on you. Joke's on you. I know. There's some risk, but it's the only way we can make it happen. Can't wait to see what you have to say in the comment section below. Of course, we'll see you down there. We'll see you on our Facebook page, and tomorrow right here on Island Time.